Imagine walking through a quiet, deep forest. Every step you take makes a tiny sound on the dry leaves. Suddenly, the birds stop singing. The squirrels freeze on the tree branches. A deer in the distance looks up, eyes wide with pure terror. Within seconds, every single living creature vanishes. They are all running away from you. But why? You don't have sharp fangs like a tiger. You don't have massive claws like a grizzly bear. You are relatively slow, weak, and soft. Yet, to the animal kingdom, you are the most terrifying nightmare on earth. The truth behind this fear is much deeper than you think. It is a dark, psychological secret buried deep in our past. Today, we unlock the real reason animals fear you. To understand this, we have to look at how animals see the world. A lion hunts because it is hungry right now. Once the lion eats, the surrounding animals relax. They know the rules of nature. But humans do not follow the rules of nature. Long ago, our ancestors developed a strange, unique way of moving. We stood up on two legs. To a wild animal, a creature walking upright is deeply unnatural. It makes us look taller than we actually are. It hides our center of gravity, making our movements unpredictable. In the wild, unpredictability equals extreme danger. When animals look at us, they don't see a regular predator. They see a bizarre, walking tower. But our shape is just the surface of their fear. The real terror started with a deadly superpower we possess. It's something we take for granted every day: sweating. Most animals cannot sweat to cool down like humans do. Furry animals have to pant or rest in the shade when they get hot. This gave early humans a terrifying hunting method called persistence hunting. We didn't need to be faster than a deer. We just needed to keep walking toward it. Imagine being that deer. You run fast and easily escape the strange two-legged creature. You stop to rest, thinking you are perfectly safe. But 10 minutes later, that same creature appears over the hill. You run away again, pushing your body to the limit. You stop to rest again, completely exhausted. But like a relentless machine, the human appears again. No matter how far you run, the monster just keeps walking. Eventually, your heart overheats, and your legs collapse. This psychological trauma was passed down through animal generations. Animals learned that humans never give up. Our steady, walking pace became the ultimate sound of doom. But it gets even creepier for them. Look at your own face in the mirror. Your eyes point directly forward. In the animal world, forward-facing eyes belong exclusively to killers. Prey animals have eyes on the sides of their heads to scan for danger. When you look at an animal, your intense, focused stare activates their brain's panic button. To them, a locked gaze means an attack is coming in 3 seconds. The goal shouldn't be to make wild animals love us or sit beside us. The camera lens looks like a giant, unblinking predator eye. Beyond our eyes, humans possess a weapon that breaks the laws of biology. We can kill from a distance. For millions of years, animals only had to worry about claws right next to them. Then, humans started throwing rocks. Then spears, then arrows, and finally, bullets. Animals realized they weren't safe even if the predator was far away. This fundamentally shattered the natural safety zones of wild creatures. A bird sitting high in a tree used to be perfectly safe from a leopard. But it was never safe from a human holding a stone. This created a permanent state of paranoia in wildlife. Over thousands of years, the animals that survived were the ones that ran away early. The brave animals who stayed to investigate were systematically wiped out. Evolution literally selected for the fear of humans. This is known as the ghost of evolutionary history. Even animals born in isolated areas today retain this genetic fear. But there is an exception that proves the rule. In places like the Galapagos Islands, animals never met ancient humans. When scientists visit, the birds and lizards don't run away. They possess what is called island tameness. They look at a human with mild curiosity instead of absolute terror. This proves that the fear in continental animals isn't accidental. It is a scar left behind by our ancestors' global dominance. However, our modern lifestyle has added a brand new layer of dread. It's the invisible footprints we leave behind. Think about the smells we carry into nature. Artificial soaps, perfumes, plastics, and processed foods. To an animal with a highly sensitive nose, a human smells completely alien. It is a chemical scent that does not belong to the natural ecosystem. In the wild, an unknown chemical smell signals extreme toxicity or danger. So before an animal even sees you, its nose tells it to flee. Then there is the sound of our technology. The low rumble of an engine, the high beep of a phone. These frequencies do not exist in a healthy forest. They shatter the acoustic environment that animals rely on to communicate. Recent scientific studies have revealed something even more shocking. Scientists played different sounds through hidden speakers in the African savanna. They played the growls of lions, the snarls of leopards, and the sound of humans talking calmly. You might think the apex predators would scare the wildlife the most. But the results were stunningly clear. When animals heard lions, some stayed to defend themselves or listen quietly. But when they heard a human voice reading a book, 90% of the animals fled instantly. Elephants, rhinos, giraffes, and impalas all ran for their lives. Our gentle conversation is more terrifying to them than a roaring apex predator. Think about how profound that is. We don't even need to shout to cause mass panic. Our mere presence acts as a psychological superpredator signal. This has created a phenomenon called the landscape of fear. Animals are actively changing their daily schedules just to avoid us. Many species that used to hunt during the day are now fully nocturnal. They are forcing themselves into the dark just so they don't have to look at us. This shift is causing massive disruptions in their survival and breeding habits. Living in constant fear takes a massive physical toll on these animals. Their stress hormones stay dangerously high. They spend less time eating and more time scanning the horizon in panic. This means humans are harming wildlife just by existing near them. We are a walking trauma trigger for the natural world. But there is an even darker twist to this story. Animals don't just fear our violence, they fear our total unpredictability. A lion kills because it needs to survive. Its actions make logical sense. Humans, however, destroy entire forests just to build concrete squares. We hunt things we don't eat, and we capture things just to look at them in cages. To an animal mind, human behavior is completely chaotic and terrifyingly insane. We are the only creature on Earth that alters the rules of reality itself. So, what happens when an animal loses this fear? What happens when they stop running away? Usually, it ends in tragedy for the animal. When wild animals become too comfortable around humans, it's called habituation. A bear approaches a campsite looking for easy food rewards. A deer approaches a road because people throw snacks from windows. This lack of fear inevitably leads to conflict. The bear gets labeled as dangerous and is eventually euthanized. The deer gets hit by a speeding vehicle. Ironically, the very fear that isolates them from us is what keeps them alive. Fear is their only shield against our destructive nature. But it doesn't always have to be a relationship of absolute terror. There are rare moments in history where a bridge was built. Think about our ancient relationship with wolves. Millions of years of mutual fear slowly dissolved through shared survival. Wolves became dogs, turning a terrifying predator into our closest ally. We did the same with horses, cats, and livestock. We traded their deep-seated genetic fear for mutual trust and comfort. But that trust required a massive shift in human behavior. It required us to become predictable, calm, and nurturing. Today, the deep fear wild animals have of us is a direct reflection of our actions. They do not hate us, they simply remember what we are capable of. Our history is written in their instinctual panic. Every time a bird flies away from you, it is acknowledging human history. It is reacting to the thousands of years of weapons, traps, and destruction. We are the ghosts that haunt their quiet forests. Next time you walk through nature and notice the sudden silence, don't take it personally. Your forward-facing eyes, your upright walk, and your long history are speaking for you. Your forward-facing eyes, your upright walk, and your long history are speaking for you. You are carrying the weight of the ultimate apex predator on your shoulders. But realizing this gives us a unique and profound responsibility. Because we are the only predator capable of choosing mercy over violence. We can choose to step back and give wildlife the space they desperately need. We can lower our voices when we enter their remaining homes. We can preserve the wild spaces so they don't have to live in constant hiding. The goal shouldn't be to make wild animals love us or sit beside us. The goal should be to respect the distance that keeps them safe. Their fear is a survival mechanism, and we must honor it. As the world grows louder and more crowded with human technology, true wildness is shrinking at an alarming rate. We are pushing the limits of the natural world every single day. But by understanding the psychological impact we have, we can change our path. We can turn the landscape of fear into a landscape of coexistence. It starts with a simple change in our collective mindset, seeing ourselves not as masters of nature, but as guests within it. When you leave the forest, the animals slowly return to their routines. The bird starts singing again, and the deer lowers its head to eat. The tension breaks, and balance is restored to the woods. The forest breathes a collective sigh of relief when the humans leave. It is a stark reminder of our immense power over this fragile planet. We hold the destiny of millions of species in our hands. Their survival depends entirely on our self-control. Will we remain the terrifying monsters lurking in the shadows? Or will we become the guardians who protect their right to exist? The choice belongs entirely to us. Thank you for watching this deep exploration of nature's greatest secret. If this video made you see the wild differently, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel to unlock more hidden truths about our world. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on this psychological connection. Stay curious, stay respectful, and we will see you in the next video.